Have you ever seen someone in a crisis, someone who looked like an ordinary civilian, suddenly take control with skills so sharp, so precise, that even hardened warriors stopped in their tracks? This is not just a story about survival. This is about secrets buried deep, courage forged in shadows, and the moment a Navy SEAL medic froze in disbelief when he realized the truth about the bleeding woman lying before him. Stay with me till the end, because this is one of the most gripping stories you'll hear. And before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because we bring you stories that stay with you long after they're told. IT began on a mission that was never supposed to go public. The SEAL team had been sent deep into a mountainous region where every shadow hid danger. Their job: extract a downed intelligence officer. The operation was classified, fast and deadly. The team moved like ghosts through the night, weapons ready, eyes scanning. Among them was Chief Petty Officer Daniels, a combat medic with years of experience patching up brothers in the field. He thought he had seen everything: shrapnel wounds, bullet holes, men fighting through pain no human should endure. But nothing prepared him for her. When they found the safe house, it was already compromised. Gunfire cracked the night, splinters of wood and concrete spraying in the air. Inside, crouched in the corner, was the officer they were sent to rescue. A young woman, bleeding heavily from her side, her lips pale, her body shaking. She didn't scream. She didn't panic. She was silent, her eyes locked on the SEALs as they breached. For Daniels, she was just another casualty, another person to stabilize before exfil. He dropped to his knees, ripped open his med kit, and pulled her toward cover. "Stay with me," he muttered, pressing gauze against the wound. Blood seeped fast, warm against his gloves. He'd seen this kind of abdominal bleed before. Most civilians would already be unconscious, their breathing erratic, their words slurred. But she looked straight into his eyes with a calmness that unsettled him. "You're using the wrong angle," she whispered, her voice strained but steady. Daniels froze. No one outside his profession would have noticed the angle of pressure. No one outside elite training would have known it mattered. His eyes narrowed. "What did you just say?" She didn't flinch. Despite the blood soaking her clothes, she moved her own hands, adjusting the pressure on her wound with exact precision. "Clamp higher. If you don't, you'll miss the arteries splicing off here." Her finger traced the location as if she'd done this countless times. Daniels hesitated, then followed her instructions, and the bleeding slowed. For the first time in his career, the medic found himself being corrected by the wounded. The firefight raged outside, bullets pinging off the walls, but inside that corner, Daniels felt like the world had narrowed down to this mysterious woman. "Who the hell are you?" he asked, voice low. Her answer came between shallow breaths. "Field surgical advanced trauma, not standard issue training." Daniel's stomach tightened. Those words, those specific terms, weren't spoken by civilians. They belonged to black site operatives, people trained outside the public eye, sometimes even outside official records. She wasn't just an intelligence officer. She was something far more dangerous, far more prepared. But the shock didn't end there. When a frag grenade landed near the doorway, the team dove for cover. Daniels instinctively shielded her body. The blast rattled the room, shrapnel embedding in the walls. Dust filled the air. He coughed, eyes stinging, ears ringing. And then he saw something that made him question everything. She wasn't just enduring the pain. She was calculating. Her eyes darted across the room, scanning exits, counting ammo belts, tracking enemy positions through sound and shadow. Even while bleeding out, she thought like a SEAL. Daniels grabbed her wrist, feeling her pulse, steady despite the blood loss. "You're not who they told us you are," he muttered. She only gave the faintest smirk. Minutes stretched like hours as the firefight grew closer. The team prepared for extraction, but moving a bleeding casualty through enemy fire was nearly impossible. Daniels prepared morphine, but her hand shot out, gripping his wrist with surprising strength. "No morphine," she said firmly. "It'll cloud me. I need to stay sharp." Daniel's eyes widened. Civilians begged for pain relief. Soldiers sometimes refused. But this This was discipline that only came from training brutal enough to break most as the team advanced toward their escape route. Daniels half-carried, half-dragged her through the chaos. Gunfire cracked, muzzle flashes lighting the night. At one point, an enemy fighter lunged from the shadows, and before the SEAL beside her could fire, she reached for the man's wrist, twisted, and used his own momentum to slam him against the wall. Daniel stared in disbelief. She was bleeding out, barely conscious, and still disarming trained fighters with muscle memory that screamed Black Dash Ops. By the time they reached the extraction chopper, Daniels was shaking, not from fear, but from the realization of what he had witnessed. As the bird lifted into the sky, wind whipping through the cabin, he pressed bandages tighter against her wound. "Tell me the truth," he demanded, his voice barely audible over the roar. "What are you?" Her eyes fluttered, heavy with exhaustion, but her lips curved into a faint, defiant smile. "Classified." Daniel sat back, heart pounding. He had trained with some of the best in the world, seen men and women pushed to the brink of human endurance. But this woman, silent, bleeding, unyielding, was something else. Hours later at the forward operating base, the team worked frantically to stabilize her. Daniels watched as surgeons took over, his mind replaying every second. The silence when she corrected his technique, the precision of her movements, the way she fought through agony with discipline no civilian should have. He couldn't shake the truth. Whoever she wasn't just an asset. She was one of them. Maybe even better. For days afterward, Daniels couldn't stop thinking about her. The official report listed her as intelligence officer, non-combat. A line of text that erased everything he'd seen. The Navy would bury her identity under classified documents, pretending she was just another analyst caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. But Daniels knew. He had seen her training, felt the sharp edge of her knowledge, witnessed the steel in her blood. And every time he closed his eyes, he remembered the way she whispered, "You're using the wrong angle." A medic humbled by the bleeding woman he was supposed to save. The SEALs never spoke of her again. But Daniels carried her memory like a secret scar, proof that somewhere out there were ghosts in human form, warriors whose names would never be spoken, whose battles would never be known. Silent, bleeding, unbreakable. And that's the story, friends. A story of mystery, of courage, and of training so deep it can't be hidden, even when the body is broken. If this story gripped you the way it gripped me, don't forget to subscribe for more unforgettable tales of resilience, sacrifice, and the secrets history keeps hidden.